Hello, St. Mary family. I am Gina Stahl, and I am happy that you have decided to join us here today for the State of the School address. We are doing great work here at St. Mary's, and I want to share all of the new things with you. Um, when I came here 2 years ago, we were just beginning a capital campaign where the goal was to raise $22 million and improve our campus, both from a physical standpoint to an educational standpoint. And we have made great progress toward that goal. We are almost at the $22 million mark. But as we know, the endowment that we will have for our children needs to last forever and ever. So we'll talk more about that later. We'll talk about construction and where we're going in the next few years. I am very excited about the progress that our teachers have made. They have extended their learning, and that learning then passes on to our students. So most importantly, we want our children to be Christ-like, to be the next leaders in our city, and we are making great advances toward that goal. So today, we will look at the state of the school as it is in May of 2023. The first part of the state of the school that I'd like to address is the personnel that we have here at St. Mary. Many of our wonderful teachers are staying on, which I'm very excited about. A few changes that we're going to make, a few additions that we're going to make to our staff, I can tell you about. So the first big change is we are adding a second assistant principal to our staff. This will help Mr. Sterner and I greatly in developing the programs that we have initiated this year. The biggest thing that we see is the need to serve our students a little bit better. And so we are adding an assistant principal whose main role will be in teacher leadership. So she will be working with teachers to help them come up with ideas and develop their classrooms into places where we really have differentiated learning and help each student get from where they are to where they need to be. So she will work a lot with teacher leadership, programming, academics, and those sorts of things to help us get that done. Her name is Mrs. Nikki Ford. She has been a principal and she has been a teacher for the last 12 years with the diocese. She's an excellent teacher, and I'm excited for her to help our teachers in an administrative role do what they need to do to address the needs of our students. We are also adding a tag person to our staff. Miss Eileen O'Connor will be joining us. She has over 33 years of experience in teaching in the Catholic system. She graduated from college and joined the Diocese of Columbus and has been with us ever since. I have worked with her both as a friend, teacher, colleague, and also as her administrator, and she is outstanding. And we are lucky to have her experience to work in our talented and gifted program. She'll also help us develop some after-school things like Battle of the Books clubs, an In the Know team, a geography team. So lots of new educational clubs for our students will be joining us next year under the guidance of Miss Eileen O'Connor. We also will be adding a preschool director, Miss Kate Shepard. Kate is an excellent preschool and SAC director currently, and she will be joining us. She was actually one of my students. I taught her when she was in 4th grade, and she has remained a dedicated employee to the Diocese of Columbus ever since her graduation. So we are excited to have her. We also are adding Mrs. Melissa Tuffy as her aide, and she's a preschool teacher. She also has taught 4th and 5th grade, and she will be joining us as Kate's aide in the preschool. And then eventually, when we add the 4th preschool classroom, she will move on to being a teacher in the preschool. So those are some personnel changes I know that we are adding. One other on the to fill in vacancies on the teaching staff. Right now, we just had one, and that was 3rd grade, and we are adding Mrs. Kathy Rumberg, who has been a teacher with the diocese for 10 years. She is currently teaching 3rd grade. She has taught 1st and 2nd grade, and so she will be joining Miss Geraldo in the 3rd grade in the fall. So we're pretty excited to have her as well. The rest of the teaching staff is pretty much staying the way they are. We may be adding some additional staff to the religious ed department in middle school, but the rest of the staff pretty much is staying intact. As you know, Miss Isabel Morbitzer joined us in January after graduating from Capital University, and she worked with Mrs. Coleman for many months, learning to teach math in the St. Mary way and preparing our students for algebra in the 8th grade. So Miss Morbitzer will be taking over the math program next year, and Mrs. Coleman will be teaching social studies. So we're pretty excited about all of those changes and boosting the staff and helping them just be the best teachers they can possibly be to help our students be the best students they can be and to have that academic success that we so desperately need. Other changes may come out in the newsletter. So right now, though, that's about all I know about that. Admissions and enrollment. Just a few things that we want to mention about that. You know, the admissions process really changed this year when we went fully digital with fax. So we appreciate everybody working hard to learn that system. I know it's different. It's different than the paper and pencil applications we've had in the past, but we really appreciate that. And everything we can do to automate our systems just makes that so much easier. We have seen over the last 10 years an increase in enrollment. This year was particularly hectic. I think people see what we're doing, they hear about us and the successes that we've had. And so we had 174 inquiries into the school. That is 34 additional, or excuse me, 31 additional from the year before. We have enrolled about 60 of those students. We currently have wait lists in many classes. However, there are some openings in randomly in some of the classes. So we are still taking preschool enrollment because we're adding that third class this year, as well as we have a few kindergarten openings, but not many. I wanted to address the enrollment process a little bit. Everyone who inquires about St. Mary is interviewed by the admissions director, Tisha Dillon, as well as either myself or Mr. Sterner as assistant principal. And we ask, you know, why they want to come here. For many, it's their first school experience, but for others who are transferring, we really want to know why they're transferring. And we have some very honest discussions about behavior and, you know, coming to school, absences, and how to be a successful St. Mary's student. Each of the families has a visit and a tour. And then there's a committee that sits down that reviews every application, all the report cards and behavior progress reports, all kinds of enrollment application tests to determine if a student's going to be successful here at St. Mary. We are really highly looking for those families that are seeking a faith-based education for their child. They want academic success, but they also want social and emotional support in their education. And they are willing to work with becoming the best person they can be. Character is huge in this world, as we all know. And it doesn't really matter how smart you are sometimes, but it's how kind you are. And that's what people are going to remember about you. So we want to remember to always encourage our students to be kind, to be the best person they can be, and the academics will flow from that. We will move on now to school business and academic goals. Student achievement and growth is what we're here for. So we STAR test our children. The STAR test is a standardized test that we do in September, December, and in the spring to see where our children have gone from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and to look at that continuum of growth that we hope to see. There are certain measures that we look for, and this year, 80% of our students have made that academic growth. We use that testing to then determine things like intervention and support. What do we need to do to help a student really achieve to their fullest potential? Or what programs do we put into place where we know we can help support them? So those STAR tests are extremely important. We try to impress that upon the students. That all comes from work in the classroom, and work at home, reading with your child, doing math facts with your child. All those things are important for the growth and development of students. The more you can emphasize that at home, the better they will do at school. And so we use those tests to help us determine where we need to add extra supports for students. It also points out to us who our talented and gifted students are. So we've started with TAG at St. Mary's. I think many years ago it was an after school program, and then this year we've moved it to the school day. And next year it will expand again with a teacher dedicated just to those students and to the development of our talented and gifted students. Sometimes a student is talented in one area and needs support in others. So those STAR testings and things that we do, things that we see in the classroom, help us identify all of those. But there are programs for all students here at St. Mary's in addition to foreign language. So this year we started with a full-time Spanish program that begins in kindergarten and goes through grade 8. Really, the hope is that after 2 years, 7th and 8th graders will be able to pass the Spanish 1 exam and enter high school going into Spanish 2. Another thing that we do here at St. Mary's, and that it was initiated then throughout the diocese, is compacted and traditional classes. When students hit about 5th grade, we begin to look at how they learn and which students would be suited for a compacted class. A compacted class means that students are working at a faster pace in their standards and at a deeper pace in their standards. So we're really asking them to do some additional work and challenge them in every way. A traditional class would be just addressing the standards as they are written by the diocese and moves at a more traditional class pace. When we get to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades, we talk about traditional and compacted math classes. The math classes then enable a student to take algebra in 8th grade. Currently, we have about 11 students in algebra, and they do that remotely with Bishop Ready High School. So they are given high school credit for that algebra class that they take in 8th grade. Next year, we may have a greater number because we have a larger 8th grade class next year, and they will be taught by our own Isabel Morbitzer, who is also a certified high school teacher. So they will get that high school credit there as well. We will continue to look at developing classes like that for our students so that they have every educational opportunity that there is. Next, we'll talk about school finances. So one of the things about running a school and running a diocesan school as opposed to a parochial school or a parish school is that here at St. Mary's, I need to be fiscally responsible. I am responsible for all the bills of St. Mary's School. In the past, the church helped to support the students of St. Mary, but currently that is all up to the school. So every year I present a budget to the finance committee and the school board. I work with a financial expert on that to help me forecast what our expenditures may be and what our income needs to be. And then we work hard to maintain that budget and to find sources of income. As you know, we use the Ed Choice Scholarship quite extensively here at our school. It will remain at $5,500 for every student this year. So that leaves about a balance of $1,200 that needs to be covered by parents. If a parent is low income qualified, it means that we then have to make up that $1,200 difference. So that is why it is so important that parents get on the facts site, tell us if they need tuition assistance, use the Ohio Department of Education determination of low income qualified and fill out all that paperwork. That really helps me to prepare a budget that will work for our school. In order to cover that difference between the Ed Choice Scholarship and what tuition is, I need people to really get on board with our SGO, or Scholarship Granting Organization, Emmaus Road. By giving $750 as an individual or $1,500 as a married filing jointly couple, you will get an automatic credit on your Ohio state taxes. So I did it and I got the full amount back in my taxes this year. So that was really great. But then that money that is donated to the Emmaus Road Scholarship for St. Mary's School German Village can then come directly to me, and I can give it out to our low income students. The number one parish in the diocese this year raised nearly $500,000 in SGO scholarship. We raised just $27,000. So you can see we've got a long way to go, and that'll be a big push as we move forward to make sure that we have enough money to help every student who wants to come here come and remain qualified to stay. We are currently in the black, and not very many Catholic schools in our diocese can say that, but we are working hard to make sure that we're paying our bills and that we're meeting the budget numbers. We're paying our teachers. They get an increase every year, so we want to make sure that we're rewarding them for all of their hard work. And we want to make sure that we have all the supplies, materials, and facilities that we need. So all those things go into our budget. And right now I can say that St. Mary's is doing a pretty good job of managing our budget. Payments and billing are all done through the fax system. So it is vitally important that you maintain your credit cards or your payment systems on fax. If those go dormant, you will rack up charges, and I think fax eventually turns you off. So parents have done a pretty good job this year of letting us know when they've had issues, and we can help them with payments. But we really need everyone to be on the fax system. There is really no other way that we can collect tuition or record your Ed Choice payments. So we ask that you do that. If you have any questions about those things, we have a new accountant in our office. Her name is Janie Robinson, excuse me. And Janie is working with Betsy Bro. Betsy is having a baby and moving back to Cincinnati to be close to family. So Janie can help you with anything that you need to help you get on the fax accounts, to help you maintain your account, or if there are issues. So please reach out to her. And also, Tisha Dillon can help you with any enrollment questions you have about fax. We will move on now to school lunch and aftercare payments and incidental billing as a whole in the fax financial system. So all of those things can be done through fax by you adding a credit card or loading money into your incidental billing account. So for lunches especially, you can load money onto your lunch account, and as your children come through either the breakfast line or the lunch line, those fees for those items can be automatically deducted from their accounts. And you don't have to worry about coming in with money. There will be no more lunch tickets that your child will have passed out to them. It will all be totally automated. You will receive a low balance warning when your balance hits, I think, like $10, so that you can add more money to the account to make sure that your child can get breakfast, lunch, milk, whatever they need through the cafeteria. So we're pretty excited about that. It certainly will make everybody's lives more easier. Then aftercare payments. Currently, when parents pick up their student from SAC, they sign them out via an iPad. That goes directly to the incidental billing on fax, and you are charged. So that will stay the same as it is this year, with however you have your incidental billing set up on your fax account. Those payments will come right out of there. Free and reduced lunch applications will be posted. Mrs. Hanson typically just sends that out to parents in July. If you have any question about whether or not you would qualify for that, please, please, please fill out the paperwork. No one knows who's on that free and reduced lunch list. It is held in the cafeteria, and Mrs. Hanson is really the only person who ever knows who's on that list. So it's very, very important. And it really does help our children. And it qualifies us sometimes for other federal funding for other things if we know the exact number of students that we have on free and reduced lunch. So I would highly encourage anyone who thinks that they may qualify to get on those. The government has increased the amount of money that you can make to qualify for those programs. So I would check it out in July when Mrs. Hanson sends that application for sure. More information on all of incidental billing and lunch accounts and SAC accounts will be coming out in August as we begin to ramp up the new school year. Reading tips and tools for surpassing the third grade reading guarantee. This is for the third grade reading guarantee and really anything. We know that the more that our children read, the better spellers they are, the better they do in grammar, the better they speak, and the better that they write. So they really need to see that writing modeled for them, and reading is an excellent way to do that. We currently, as a team, are working on the foundations of reading and writing in a program called Letters, which is tied to the Lexia program that our students do on their own. The teachers are learning new ways to identify reading problems and new ways to tackle those problems, new ways to help students in general be better readers and writers. So we really hope that you can help us at home, especially over summer, by making sure your kids are involved in a library program. They can come here and take AR quizzes over the summer. We will assign them summer goals for reading for AR quizzes. So we're really excited about expanding that and hoping that our kids become more literate and great readers and writers. It's important that they read all kinds of texts. So sometimes kids only like to read graphic novels now, or nonfiction, or fiction, or whatever they like to read. It's really important that they read all kinds of different things, and that you talk to your student about what they're reading and what you're reading. They like to know that. Spelling patterns and grammar are extremely important, especially when we get to the middle grades, where we kind of stop teaching that. So it's important that that foundation is established in kindergarten through fourth grade, especially, so that by the time they get to fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade, they're learning more intricate things about grammar and about word roots and things like that. But that foundation is laid. So we have a huge group of teachers studying that in a 2-year program. I'm really very, very proud of our staff for taking the time from their personal lives to become better teachers. So we're doing this all together. Even Mr. Sterner and I are in the classes. It took us probably 72 hours of work in the last year to do the coursework and be in the classes together. And the teachers then have work that they do in their classrooms with your students. So we're really very excited about it. And next year, we will all be letters trained and hopefully all be better teachers and better understanding of language arts. Middle school language arts, we know that when students read over the summer, they gain 1 month of proficiency. So we really hope that your middle school students continue to read. I know technology is a real draw for those kids. That's where they always want to be. They always have their phones in their hands, but make sure that they're also reading texts. Maybe they're reading on a Kindle, reading online, but they always need to be reading. It is extremely, extremely important. And it's important for them in how they speak and how they write. Um, we also need to think about the number of books that they're reading. So we would like to see our middle school students read 4 to 6 books over the summer. And again, they can come to school. The library can be open on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings from 9 to 11 for them to come in and take an AR quiz and get points. So we know they're reading over the summer. And of course, there will be a reward. Along with that will be summer solutions again. So we'll have math and grammar summer solutions. If those books are finished and students meet their AR goal, they will receive a prize in the fall. So this past year we did our Team St. Mary's shirts. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do for this year, but it's really important that kids do that work. And it is not optional, it is mandatory. So we really want to see that work done, and we want to know that our kids continue to grow over the summer and we don't have that summer slide that we see so often. Moving on to other school business, key to the success of your student and your family life and our school is your volunteering here. When your kids see you at school, they know that school is important to you and they know that you are part of our community. It really helps for them to see us work as partners for their education, and the best way for you to do that is to volunteer. So there's several opportunities for doing that. Our Home and School Association runs a lot of projects and a lot of fun programs for parents, for kids. We've got the Food Truck Festival coming up, which was moved to August 12th. So mark that on your calendar. It'll be a back to school festival. But you can also volunteer during the school day. So as you drop your student off, if you have a little extra time, You might come in and help in the cafeteria. They have, several hundred kids that come through for breakfast every morning. So it would be nice to have a few extra hands in there to help the little ones get through the line, help them make good choices. And you could be off on your way to work by, 8 o'clock, probably in most days. And I'm sure Mrs. Hanson and her crew would appreciate that extra hand. We also have lunch and recess volunteer opportunities anywhere from 10:30 to 1 p.m. each day. So if you work in the area and you want to take some time, or if you work a second shift or a first shift and you have time, we always need extra sets of eyes on the playground. That is typically where we break down, because there aren't enough of us to watch maybe 50 to 100 kids who might be out there at one time. So it's always nice to have parents. And it's a great way to see the other kids that your kids are coming home and talking about. So you get to meet their friends that you may not meet, because our kids come from over 30 zip codes across the city. So you may never see these kids in any other setting. So come and try and volunteer for lunch or recess duty. We will have a new cafeteria next year beginning in January. So we will need extra parents to come in and help us monitor that cafeteria area. We're pretty excited about it. School day volunteer aids. So if you would love to work with kids one-on-one, or you want some more information about what your teachers are doing or how you can help them, contact your child's teacher next year. Anytime between the hours of 8 and 3, you could be coming in and working for an hour or so with the kids. Maybe it's just one day a week, but teachers love to know that parents are coming. They can work in small groups then, and they can get more intense work done with the students if we do it that way. So if you're available during the day, we would love to have you. We are also hoping that as our campus grows and we develop a new traffic pattern with our new school opening, that we have some adult safety patrol for drop off and pickup. Right now, we have a couple of parents that come and help us every morning, and they are invaluable. We just can't say enough about the fact that they show up, rain, cold, sun, whatever. They come and help us get kids out of cars and get them in the right direction. So those hands are invaluable. Sometimes staff is sick. Sometimes staff have meetings or things they have to go to in the morning or at the end of the day. And if we have a couple of volunteers in each pick up and drop off to help us maintain the rules and regulations and the system, everything runs more smoothly. I really want to compliment parents on your patience in drop off and pickup. There are a lot of you who drop off and pick up each day. And what we want to do is make sure that everyone is safe. So I appreciate cool heads, patience. I would never want to see anyone hurt. And we appreciate you following the rules that we've set up to make sure that that happens each day. So volunteer. We'd love to see you. We'd love to have you for any time that you are available. It really is a great message for your kids to show them that you care about their education. Other ways to be involved, school advisory board. The school advisory board is a professional board. It is the kind of overseer of all things St. Mary's. So they were directing us, they're helping us with initiatives like fundraising. They look, like I said before, at our budget. They look at how the school is functioning and set goals for us for our future. And those people are appointed by the bishop. Home and School Association, you can be a part of the Home and School Association no matter who you are. You don't have to be an officer. You could be an officer of the Home and School Association. I believe nominations just went out. You could also run a special program. We always need people to help with the tree sale, the gala, the food truck fests, all the things that we do for our kids. Home and School supplies all the money for our children, for all the special activities we do. And even our teachers, they support our teachers with Teacher Appreciation Week. So supporting home and school initiatives is super important. We also have a SPICE group for special people in Catholic education, and that helps our children on special needs plans. So there's a lot we can do with their scholarship dollars. but there's a lot we cannot do with scholarship dollars. So we need SPICE to help us with equipment for students, special computers for students, and additional supports. So lots of ways to get involved there. Of course, athletics. So a little bit about athletics for next year. All of our practices and games will be off-site because our gym will be filled with temporary classrooms because of construction. So they'll all be off-site. But once the new school is finished and open, probably in the winter, I would guess by February, we can return sports to St. Mary's. So there'll be lots of opportunities for volunteering to help support games, run the scoreboard, sell concessions, and absolutely coaching. This is a great way if you work all day and you can't be with us volunteering during the day. This is a great way to spend a couple of evenings a week and a few hours on a Saturday supporting your child. Athletics are so important, and we really need to continue to have that Ram spirit and have good games, good teams that our kids can participate in, because it's a really important part of our school. And then again, volunteering in the school, we'd love to have you around. So let us know what you're good at. You can even help the administrative team if need be. That's what you're great at. Next year, you'll all be happy to know there is no change in the uniform. So continue that this is the athletic uniform. This can be ordered online. Our own Sabrina Hoyleman, who is our librarian, she and her husband have a company, and they produce the gym uniform. It is very inexpensive, and students can wear that all day on gym day. Um, those are our shoes that are approved: white, black, navy, and combinations of white, black, navy. We prefer no extra colors, but I know sometimes that's really hard to do. So if you have a question or about a shoe, please let me know. Please send me a picture, take a quick snapshot, email it to me, and let me know whether it would be school approved or not. I know shoes are expensive, but we wouldn't want you to buy something that then becomes a problem for the classroom teacher. Here's the regular daily uniform. Really, nothing is changing next year. So light blue or yellow shirts, light blue, navy or yellow shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. I'm okay with all of them. Whatever your child prefers. Navy pants. All of this can be bought at the uniform store. The jumpers for the girls have to be bought at the uniform store. One dress code change, not necessarily a uniform change, but I would like all young ladies to wear their jumpers on mass days. So on mass days, all young ladies wear their jumpers. So we're going to have to work on the gym schedule a little bit for that, but that's the goal for next year. All right, future school business, the campaign and construction. So we have made a lot of progress, as I said earlier in my talk. When I came here, we had just begun the fundraising process, and through some terrific community partners and that with the help of Father Vince and the church staff, we have given countless tours of our campus. They are always better when the kids are here. It is really wonderful for people to come in and see what we do, and to see your kids in action. Your kids are absolutely precious to us, and they really make us who we are. I know there can be problems individually with people, but the way we get along and the way we work together as a family is just outstanding. And I can't say enough about my teaching staff, who really are the face of our school, along with our support staff. They really are integral in your children's lives, and they really make a huge impression on the outside world. So we have had community partners like AEP, Huntington, Park National Bank, you name it. We've got them supporting your students through the fundraising that we've done. I think I've walked this campus a million times in the last 2 years, touting all of the great things that we do. So this is a picture of the old campus, kind of the way it looked before we even began construction. It's hard to remember that we had a back on our rectory, and we had extra parking spaces in place for places for people to play. So now we are moving on to creating this vision for our campus. You'll see when you come here, and I'm sure many of you have seen it already, Heritage Hall is up. The bricks are going up and the windows have been put in. So it's pretty exciting to see this work kind of come alive and to actually happen. We will continue to work on this through the summer. There will be limited access to the back areas of the school in the summer and the front. So later this week, I think, the front of the school will be completely blocked off with the exception of the entrance door. And they will begin laying the drainage work and the construction work to start on the front of the school building and then eventually create our new playground. So we're pretty excited about that. It's always fun to see something new come up. So as you can see here, that entire front lawn will be turf. It will be green AstroTurf. The kids can run and play on it. There will be some equipment out front for them to climb on, and it's going to be very, very exciting and kind of hard to believe. They've asked me many times about where the kids play, and I said they've always played in a parking lot. So this is going to be great for them. And the front of our building will be refreshed and look new and pretty. The entrance of the school will actually be kind of to the left of what you're looking at there, that big kind of glass part of the building that you see right next to the rectory. That will be the new main entrance for the school. So we're all pretty excited about that. Next year in the fall, when you come back, students will be entering the main school through the back gym doors. So I'm not sure that entrance will be ready yet then, but it could very well be. I know the new kitchen will be ready, so that'll be exciting. Miss Roseanne will be working in a beautiful new kitchen. These are just some renderings of what our classrooms will look like and the colors that will be used. I'm excited for all these fresh new finishes, and I know the teachers are too. We are currently looking at plans for classrooms, and if you have a chance, Mrs. Dillon's class, second graders have a sample classroom, and it's pretty exciting to have all that new stuff. This is a picture of our hub that I'm sure you've seen before, but this will be kind of a library technology gathering space in the center of the main school upstairs. So we're excited to have that space. You know, we don't have a lot of extra space right now. In addition to the hub, there will be little areas where teachers can work one-on-one with students. Our intervention staff will have nooks and crannies where they can work instead of being out in the hallway. So we're excited about all of that. In adjacent to Heritage Hall, and you know, Heritage Hall will be where the kids have lunch each day, and we can use as a big, you know, gathering space for weddings and funerals and all those kind of larger parties that we want to have. There will be Our Lady of Guadalupe Hall. So that's what you're looking at here. It will be held primarily for church events. You'll see coffee and donuts there on Sunday mornings, or if Father Vince wants to have a smaller gathering, but that will be kind of an adult space, but it will be adjacent to our new Heritage Hall, which you see the outside of there. The window looks a little different now. We are blessed to have a beautiful stained glass window that was donated by one of our lovely parishioners and neighbors. And so that shape is there now for that. And the window will be placed soon. This is the interior of the place where your kids will have lunch, believe it or not. I'm not sure we'll have white tablecloths, but those tables will be there to facilitate both school breakfast and lunch, and then again, receptions or any kind of large gatherings that we want to have. And I'm hoping next year we can show it all to you, certainly in an open house, but maybe at the gala next year. So that's what I'm hoping for. Heritage Hall, this is the entrance that I told you about that's right next to the rectory. So this entrance will go to the right, will be the school offices, and the first floor classrooms, which will be preschool, and an entrance to the gym, as well as if you went straight ahead, you would go into Heritage Hall. They will not have glass windows. We are going to make this hall dedicated to the parishes of St. Ladislas and Corpus Christi, which will be closing this summer. And we will have memorabilia on those walls from each of those parishes to honor them and welcome them to St. Mary, as will be one big South End Catholic community here at St. Mary Church and School. Well, if you have other questions, please feel free to let me know what I haven't covered for you, what questions still remain, and we'll try to do another little recap video before the school season ends, and I can answer any questions for you. Our summer office hours will be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 2. There will be someone here on campus that can answer your questions. You could drop off paperwork or whatever we need to do. Don't forget, we have summer camp Monday through Friday, run by Mrs. Gibney and Mrs. Dillon this year. They've got a lot of fun things planned, and those registration forms can be found on your fax account. We also have tutoring on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings from 9 to 11. Those sessions are $5 again, and our St. Mary's students, our St. Mary's teachers, are running those tutoring sessions, as well as summer school. So if you've been notified that your child needs summer school, there'll be a $200 fee for summer school, and to help your student pass those standards that were not mastered during the school year. The office will be here at the middle school. So immediately when school ends, we will be shutting down the main school so that construction can begin. That building will be off limits all summer, and we will only enter back into the gym and to Heritage Hall in makeshift classrooms for the fall and winter, first 2 quarters of the school year. By the 3rd quarter, we will be in our new classrooms, so that's pretty exciting. We will be closed July 3rd through the 17th, just to give the office staff and the administrators some time off where one of us isn't working, emailing the other one and asking questions. So we will be here off and on all summer. If you need anything, don't hesitate to email. We'll set up a time to meet with you and talk with you about the upcoming school year. This Friday, I want to let you know we'll have a appreciation luncheon, or excuse me, breakfast for our volunteers, and a principal kind of meeting where you can come and ask questions. So if you have any questions, let us know. We have a few back to school events that I wanted to let you know about. August 9th from 8 to 10, there will be a preschool roundup. We just want to meet your preschoolers and have them meet their teachers so they get to know everybody and see what their new space is going to look like. We will also have a Protecting God's Children's class and fingerprinting during that time from 10 to 1. Protecting God's children is something that any parent who wants to go on a field trip or volunteer in some way needs to do. We need to have your fingerprints on file, and you have to take that class in order to attend those field trips or volunteer for us. From 1 to 3 on that same day, August 9th, there will be a kindergarten roundup so they can meet their kindergarten teachers. Don't forget, August 12th is our rain date for our food truck fest. So come, kind of get reacquainted with everybody, meet us. I want to make sure that we have Nationwide Children's Hospital here so you can see all the wonderful parenting programs that they offer. We will have a parenting program each month next year, and I really encourage you to do that. They have been absolutely fabulous this year, and they are just an hour long once a month. August 17th from 8 to 10, there is a new parent meeting. And August 17th, we might again have a PGC class if we can't get everybody in on August 9th. August 24th and 25th from 2 to 5 p.m., there will be a supply drop-off and you can meet your teacher. So we can't really have an open house again in the fall because there's no place to go. But if you are in the main building or spec center or the middle school, you can come on August 24th or August 25th from 2 to 5 p.m., drop off your supplies and meet your teachers. So thanks for taking a few minutes to be with us today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call and ask. And a lot of this information will be in the summer newsletter. Have a great summer. Stay safe. God bless you. And thanks for letting us be a part of your student's life.